Heavy metal is one of the most recognizable genres in the world of rock and roll, and has produced some of the finest songs that make metalheads worldwide pump up their fists, put up their horns, and bang their heads. Countless bands have taken the blueprint provided by Black Sabbath more than 50 years ago to develop their own style, resulting in numerous metal subgenres. In turn, these bands have given fans memorable songs that have stood the test of time and are instantly recognizable upon the first guitar note or lyric. But what songs stand out among thousands of others and help define what heavy metal is all about? Stay tuned as we count down our picks for the top 20 best heavy metal songs ever. And remember, this is just our humble opinion. With so many great ones to choose from, putting this list together is a tall order, but for our money, these are the best songs that the genre has to offer. Strict metalheads may disagree with its inclusion, but when thrash metal legends Anthrax got together with hip-hop titans Public Enemy, they recorded a track that took metal to unimaginable directions. Bring the Noise was originally included in Public Enemy's landmark 1987 album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. But when it was remade with Anthrax's pummeling drums and guitars, the result was unlike anyone had ever heard of. It was one of the first songs that combined rap with heavy metal and ended up being one of the most influential songs in the genre. Were it not for this song, the entire nu metal boom that would dominate the airwaves in the late 90s to early 2000s would have never happened. Rainbow in the Dark, Dio. Ronnie James Dio, the father of the metal horns, reportedly hated this track so much that he threatened to destroy the recording with a razor blade. Fortunately, his bandmates prevented him from doing so because it turned out to be one of Dio's signature songs. Sure, it may sound too poppy, which is why Dio initially disliked the song. Still, the singer's power and the rest of the band's strength are on full display on Rainbow in the Dark. Eventually, the song became a favorite among heavy metal devotees. Am I Evil? Diamond Head. Diamond Head may not be as famous as their new wave of British heavy metal colleagues like Iron Maiden and Def Leppard, but their song Am I Evil is one of the most influential heavy metal numbers out there. It's one of the songs that turned a young group of four into Metallica, and even until now, Metallica still covers the song live. So that's saying something. From its epic intro to the heavy main riff that drives the rest of the song, Am I Evil stands along the most popular songs put out by the genre's most prominent bands. Iron Maiden, Hallowed Be Thy Name. The closing track on Iron Maiden's seminal 1982 album, The Number of the Beast, is a great example of storytelling via heavy metal musicianship. The song's shifting dynamics provide a great counterpoint to singer Bruce Dickinson's harrowing tale about a man preparing to be sent to the gallows. To this day, it remains a fan favorite among Maiden's most loyal fans. The song's virtually played at every Maiden show and is one of the prime examples that prove why Maiden are all-time greats. Megadeth, Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. Megadeth kicked off their 1990 album Rust in Peace with this thrasher that encapsulated everything that made them great. Holy Wars immediately kicks off with a fast and furious riff, slows down in the middle, then goes back into high gear with a face-melting solo courtesy of Dave Mustaine. It's a testament to the controlled madness behind Megadeth's genius and has cemented its place as one of the genre's best songs. Metallica 1. The song that kicked the door of the mainstream open for Metallica, 1, showcases the band's range, from a mellow first half to a machine gun-like thrash assault at the song's conclusion. Telling the story of a World War I soldier trapped in his body by losing his arms, legs, and tongue, 1 goes through all the main character's emotions without sacrificing musicianship and brute metal force. No wonder it garnered Metallica their first ever Grammy Award. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. For a song of such short length and sheer straightforwardness, Paranoid turned out well and became an instant metal classic upon release. The song was one of the last to be included in Black Sabbath's second album of the same name, but by no means does it rank the least in terms of quality. With its driving guitar riff and Ozzy Osbourne's signature vocals, it solidified itself as one of metal's defining tunes. It even went on to inspire punk bands such as the Ramones later on. Pantera, Walk. No other metal band carried such a take no prisoners, no BS attitude like Pantera did in the 90s. And their 1992 single, Walk, reflected that attitude quite well. The stomping, groove-infused track became the band's signature song, and its iconic chorus and Dimebag Darrell's solo are considered some of the most recognizable touchstones in 90s metal. Slayer, Angel of Death. With a neck-breaking riff, double bass drums, and Tom Araya's iconic scream, Slayer opened their 1986 magnum opus, Rain in Blood, with this thrash masterpiece. And it certainly wouldn't be Slayer if it wasn't controversial. An Angel of Death certainly fit the bill by talking about Josef Mengele, a Nazi doctor who conducted experiments on Holocaust prisoners. The song's lyrical content caused Rain in Blood's release to be delayed. Despite the controversy, Angel of Death remains one of the major triumphs of thrash, not to mention a textbook example of how to push people's buttons. Dio, Holy Diver. The title track of Dio's debut album after his stints in Rainbow and Black Sabbath is undoubtedly the lead singer's signature song. Holy Diver is the perfect introduction to Dio's body of work. You've been down too long in the midnight sea. But is also a massive heavy metal song that includes everything anyone could expect from Dio. Fantasy backdrops filled with demons, dragons, and warriors. A large influence on power metal, Holy Diver elevated Dio from a great rock singer to an undisputed heavy metal hero. Black Sabbath, War Pigs. The opening track to Black Sabbath's 1970 album Paranoid, War Pigs, was as close to a battle cry as anyone could get at the time. It's also one of the first examples of a metal song to be infused with a political subtext, proving that a genre that has been described as demonic can also be socially conscious. A 7-minute epic driven by a pummeling riff and Ozzy's wails about the apocalypse, War Pigs remains a timeless heavy metal gem in terms of its music and lyrical ambition. Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills. Run to the Hills is Iron Maiden's first single to feature vocalist Bruce Dickinson, and what a debut he made with his track from 1982's The Number of the Beast. For Maiden, the song signaled a new direction for the band, but they probably had no idea it would turn into one of metal's most beloved anthems. To this day, it remains a crowd favorite and is frequently played live. Maiden are the champions when it comes to the most anthemic of metal songs, and Run to the Hills is a perfect example of that. Slayer, Raining Blood. Whereas Angel of Death opened Slayer's 1986 album Rain in Blood with an immediate kick to the face, Raining Blood closed it in spectacular fashion. Slayer threw everything in their arsenal into the song, and the result is a face-melting combustion of absolute thrash mayhem that no other band has come close to replicating. From drummer Dave Lombardo's opening toms to the frenetic verses, the mid-song breakdown, and a chaotic outro with dueling solos from Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King, Raining Blood is hell translated into music. Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. When Ozzy embarked on a solo career after his initial stint with Black Sabbath, he recruited a young guitarist named Randy Rhoads as his main axeman. Ozzy's debut solo, Blizzard of Oz, wasn't just a showcase of Ozzy's new direction, but also the talents of Rhoads would shine the brightest on Crazy Train. The track is a more streamlined heavy metal song compared to Ozzy's Black Sabbath days. Nonetheless, it packs the same punch that fans expect from the Prince of Darkness, thus cementing it as a heavy metal masterpiece. Black Sabbath, Iron Man. Not only is this the third Sabbath song on the list, but it's also the third song from their 1970 album Paranoid, proving just how significant that record is in the heavy metal timeline. Back in the day, Iron Man was about as heavy as anyone can get. And is probably the heaviest song anyone has ever heard up to that point. However, it was also simplistic and a testament to Tony Iommi's ability to conjure evil with a few simple notes. The music also partnered well with its apocalyptic lyrics, written by bassist Geezer Butler. Not only is Iron Man one of metal's greatest songs, it's also one of the best rock songs ever, period. Iron Maiden, The Trooper. The Trooper features Iron Maiden's trademark galloping sound, which became one of the most implemented techniques in the genre, and for good reason too. It's heavy, effective, and just makes riffs sound meatier. But despite many bands adopting the technique, Maiden remains the best at it thanks to bassist Steve Harrod's fluid bass playing. It's also the perfect accompaniment to The Trooper, a song about the charge of the Light Brigade in 1854. Who would have thought that a riff can come close to replicating the sound of a horse's hooves charging through battle? And yet, Maiden were able to do it. And still do it regularly as the song has become a live staple. But most importantly, The Trooper has become a heavy metal cornerstone that every metal band should know about. Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. Heavy metal as we know it today would not exist without the input of Judas Priest. The metal gods spent their early years shaping the sound of metal, and one of the results was this excellent cut from their 1980 album British Steel. Breaking the Law put Judas Priest on the map and proved that a song can be basic without sacrificing the adrenaline rush that comes with an excellent metal tune. It was a hit at the time of its release, and more than 40 years after it first came out, it remains relevant in the history of metal. Motorhead, Ace of Spades. Lemmy may prefer to call Motorhead a rock and roll band, but nonetheless, their signature song, Ace of Spades, has been immortalized as one of metal's most definitive songs. It introduced speed metal as a force to be reckoned with and influenced the development of faster derivatives of the genre such as thrash. The song makes the most out of its relatively short length and includes everything to love about Motorhead. The speed, the aggression, and of course, Lemmy's unmistakable growl that demands everyone's attention. Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath. Ah yes. The one that started it all, with its ominous opening riff based on the tritone, also called the devil in music. Black Sabbath seemingly opened the gates of hell. Who would have thought at the time that something so evil-sounding could be produced with just 3 notes? And yet Sabbath did it, complete with occult-themed lyrics delivered through Ozzy Osbourne's despair-filled vocals. And just like that, Black Sabbath gave birth to heavy metal as we know it. Metallica, Master of Puppets. The younger generation may know of Master of Puppets thanks to the song being featured on the latest season of Stranger Things, but they may not be aware that they're listening to the greatest metal song ever made. The title track to their 1986 masterpiece of an album, Master of Puppets, infused Metallica's brand of thrash with a level of complexity and musical sophistication that few bands have ever come close to approaching. The band fully uses the song's 8-minute length to showcase everything that heavy metal is capable of. In terms of sheer grandiosity and songwriting, no other song has come close to Master of Puppets. Which is why it's the best heavy metal song ever. Fans can agree or disagree with some of the songs on this list, but then again, every fan has his own list based on opinion. It was a hard list to put together as thousands of metal songs deserve their flowers, but in our humble opinion, these are the songs that have shaped heavy metal today.